Welcome back to the Supercoach Nuff channel. In this video, we're going to look at the Game Week 17 preview for Fantasy Premier League in the 2023-24 season. Um, so what I thought we might do, something we haven't done for a while, but I guess for those that still are hanging on to their wildcard chip, um, you do get a second one coming up in, I think, Game Week 20, so it's like for the second half of the season. Um, So it might be a good time if you wanted to, shuffle the deck a bit and, make up some lost ground in the FPL sort of ranks. You could, as you can see, I've got my team set up for this week. I do have Haaland and Trippier on the bench, which is a lot of money. So I thought it might be interesting to just see how we could spend that, particularly given that Haaland, misses the next two games potentially. So if he doesn't play this week, then he definitely misses next week with the World Club Championship that's on. Man City as European champions are involved with that. So if we go to our transfers and try and get the whole squad in, it's always hard with this scratch. I'll try and zoom out, maybe it would be small. There we go, that's probably better. Thinking. So I guess, we don't necessarily have to delete everyone, but we can delete Haaland, we can delete Trippier for the purpose of this. So I think, the obvious choice in the forward line is Watkins, given, he's had a tough couple of fixtures, but outside of that, the returns have always been decent. They do have a good run of fixtures coming up. So if we add Watkins in, I guess then becomes what can we do with the rest of the money? We've still got 12.4 mil. So I think, based on that sort of awkward price with Alexander Arnold, I don't think you could go all out with Alexander Arnold in defence. You would have to try and find another cheaper type option. So you do have the likes of Saliba and Anderson that have been pretty solid throughout the season. If you have a look at Saliba, hasn't had a return in the last few games. So I always get the scores confused when they're written away because I always assume it's the team that they're talking about at home. Excuse me. But other than the Liverpool fixture, Arsenal do have a good run until they hit Liverpool again, funnily enough, in early Feb. And then after that, again, a couple of good ones either side of Newcastle. So I guess, being at the top of the ladder means they are always that chance of getting the defensive stats. Anderson, if you have a look at him, does play Man City next, so probably not one to bring in this week. But after that, the fixture is okay. Brighton and Chelsea are probably not as easy as it looks there. Arsenal and then Chelsea again. So a couple of, must be those sort of rounds are doubled up somehow. That's interesting. If you have a look at defenders only, we'll get a deeper list of options. So Mikolenko is the interesting one. Look, really solid returns recently. Last three clean sheets. Um, has a bit of a niggle and a couple of tough fixtures coming up. So, I think that's chasing points. If you get through past the Man City fixture and you want to have a look, he's got, again, a few good, but then the double up Spurs and Man City again, it's not ideal. So there's a small window where you could bring him in, but I don't think that's the best option. Um, Other than that, I think the options are a lot of the guys I've already got, like Pedro Porro, Gabriel. That's Arsenal defense, obviously. Um, the fact that Trippier only plays one game means it's probably not a panic sell. Obviously, if you haven't um, got him and you want to bring him in, don't bring him in this week. If you are doing your wild card though, it probably wouldn't hurt to bring him in. Um, and then so where to go to from here? Well, probably the midfield side. They're like Salah and Son, obviously. If we go to the other midfielders, so I would like to bring Saka in. So if you are a bit worried about Gordon, in his injury, you could go to him. Might just upgrade Sterling first. It gives us 3.6. So we could also get out of Palmer and upgrade to Bowen. So we've still got 1.2. So I mean, if you like Sterling, you can still have Sterling. I've got him at 7 mil, but 7.1 would still work. Um, but yeah, so I mean, you look at that midfield, that gives me a bit more confidence than um, Bowen and Saka over Palmer and Gordon. Um, in saying that, if I just get out of Bowen, uh, bring Gordon back in, I would, I guess, in terms of long term, hold Bowen, but sorry, Gordon, restore player. There we go. Bowen at Saka. And it gives us 1.2, so we could either look at. Is there any other options in the forwards? Like Solanke's been in good form. So, a few attacking returns there over the last handful of games. They do have a nice run of fixtures. Bournemouth, then obviously Spurs, Liverpool's where it starts to turn. So, if you wanted to go the short term punt, you absolutely could. Actually, you could probably leave Jackson in there given their good run of fixtures. So this would be the argument for keeping Gordon in. Sorry, keeping Sterling in over Gordon, because you could get out of Alvarez who misses next week. Bring in Solanke. Um, a few people I think are keen on Isak, but you know probably just continue to monitor that pick. We could do it, but probably not that interested. And then I guess the other option that we would have, given that we've got a bit of money, is having a bit of a play at a goalkeeper. So, you know, might make sense given they're not playing next week, but we could get Edison in. That set and forget keeper. We're just out of range of Allison, which would be my preferred option. Um, yeah, could do. We've only got two Liverpool assets. Yeah, so, don't know. Might be like, if you wanted to get that extra point one to get Becker, we could get out of a Kabore and find a defender at 3.9. Mengi, Van Heck. Oh, sorry, I can't read. Bulldog. Yeah, so you can see we're basically just dipping into the what's the word? The relegation type defenders. Like what other options are there? Chambers, what's his story? Just not playing. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it looks like the options are, defenders from the relegation sort of team, which I guess what we have with Kabore, to be fair. But, he's definitely doing the best, or among the best out of those $4 million defenders. Evans at, oh no, we want 3.9. So, I mean, we could just, switch it up to Mengi. I'm pretty sure he's an out and out centre back, but it doesn't really matter. So we could do it that way. So what we'd end up with is Becker in goal. Bravka, pretty solid backup. Gabriel, Simicas, Porro, in the back three, with obviously Trippier to come back in next week. Could probably play, midfield five, or we could play with Solanke. Um, guess is there a 3.8 million defender? We could actually just bring back Alvarez for this week, but we'll leave it. with Solanke. So, probably end up being a 3-4-3 with Gordon on the bench. You could obviously then rotate with Solanke because the other six are fairly solid, although Jackson's are, going to be a bit inconsistent. But obviously, we're not going to do that this week. We are happy with our squad as it is. Haaland won't be out forever, and trading him out just means you've got to undo everything to bring him back in anyway. So you either end up with a lot of money on your bench, or you just end up with variations of forced trades on Haaland. Whereas if we can use the trade elsewhere, it's probably nicer. So we will bank the free transfer this week. The team, just to go through it again, Dubravka goal against Fulham at home is a nice fixture. Simicast, Porro, Gabriel back three with Trippier and Kabore on the bench. Sterling, Son, Palmer, Salah, and Gordon. Obviously, with Haaland most likely missing this week, we could actually just do it this way, and if he is playing, well, more power to us. Might actually be the better way to do it now that I say it out loud. But I guess sort of planning that Haaland's missing, so hopefully Gordon gets a run. If Gordon does miss, we do have Kabore as well. So, whichever way we slice it, we will get 11 players this week. It'll just be a question of which 11 players we get and their scores. And with the captaincy, we're backing Mo Salah to do the job in the big game against Man United. We're backing Son against Forest. We can't tell the difference between V and a C apparently. So Son against Forest with the captaincy, in form. Forest aren't the strongest defensively. Triple game against Sheffield United at home, so 3 Chelsea assets in attack. They do have a good run, so hopefully we get some attacking returns from them. We are predicting Alvarez will be the main man again against Crystal Palace, so hopefully that leads to some attacking output as well. All right, but we'll wrap it up there. So as always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to throw them below this video. If you're enjoying the FPL content, remember to give the videos a like. Subscribe for all of the fantasy content. We've got BBL, we've got NBL, we've got NFL. But other than that, thanks for always watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.